We got Coach John Downing from Edward Waters University. Now, I don't think we have any highlight films of Coach Downing getting fired up on the sideline. That would be hilarious if we did. We had his best fist pumps, on the sideline, but we don't have a highlight film. So, we're ready for Coach Downing. There he is. I'm not sure if you heard that joke.
That would be pretty sweet. That would be pretty sweet.
Hey,
How's it going, fellas? How's it going?
Good. How you doing,
thank
Coach?
you.
Good. Coach Williams, Coach Grove, thanks for having me on. Omar Jackson, I just want to thank you guys also for just you guys doing this show and all the way you're spotlighting what a tremendous event this is, and of course, Coach Groves, Coach Williams for putting it on. Before we get started, I got an interesting anecdote about that guy who just got off. Big Kane, I love that guy. I mean, I love all these kids, but Kane is my guy. And at halftime, he came up to me and he said, Coach, he goes, we got your back. They're not going to cross the 50 again. And save for that fumble we had when we tried to put it away, they didn't. So the man makes a statement, and I think he had I don't know, I have to watch the film again, but I know he had a sack and a couple tackles for loss after he said that. So, it's fun to keep in touch with these guys and their stories and be a part of their stories for a weekend, So.
Absolutely, Coach. I mean, that's what coaching's all about for sure. I got one question for you before I pass it on to my co-host. But I mean, Coach, I remember being on the field when you conducted your post-victory interview. Must be great to be undefeated in All-Star games. You should be like Jeff Fisher and just do that the rest of your life, just coaching All-Star games. But I remember you said, if it were up to me, everyone would get a contract. That motivated me. I wanted to strap on the pads too and try to get a contract myself. But
Yeah.
I guess. What was your approach during the week in coaching the players and I guess developing them for their big opportunity coming up in the spring, of course, with the NFL draft?
Yeah, I love these games for that reason. And you had a nod to my record. I wish it was undefeated, but we're 2-1 as head, 3-1 overall. But it's different in a regular season scrimmage or even practicing and scripting for this because your segments have to be so efficient, on point, in and out of everything. You have to cover everything. So of course your playbook has to be somewhat vanilla for these kids to understand it. And I think that our win, my hats go off to Coach Barlow. He's been, a head coach in the collegiate level since 2006, 2007. But I think that speaks to how difficult it is to coach in one of these things because it's not like a regular season practice where if you don't cover a certain situation or things like that, you can just hit it tomorrow. You only get 2 practices and really a helmets only walkthrough with these kids. So you have to have coaches that understand that are efficient in the way they get things done. I carry a tight knit group of guys. Half my staff have done it with me every time I've had coached one. So this is our third time, and we like to think we have it down to a science at this point as far as efficiency. And then the other guys, some of the new guys that coach with me was a Super Bowl champion, coaching quarterbacks, and a former NFL coach coaching linebackers. So they understand what it takes to play at a high level and how to implement a game plan in such a short amount of time. So, it's a combination of things. Really, you have to have a certain amount of factors that all kind of roll into that, and then you got to be able to work great together. And like I said, that's why I try to keep a consistent staff and guys who have been together and who have done it with me. And in talking to Coach Williams and Coach Grove when I came in, when I interviewed to be able to do this and head coach this, that was one of my selling points of my presentation was, when you're trying to put on an event like this, because there's the organizational pieces that go into it as well. Not just the gameplay, the script and practices. There's the youth football camp that we did, and things like that. So there's a lot of logistics pieces that go into it too, and you need to have a coach who's flexible and able to rock and roll and a staff that understands that as well. So, kind of a long-winded answer for you, but I love doing these. Like you mentioned, I found my niche in this. I think and I got a kid from one of the last games I did who's with the Packers right now. So I still keep in touch with Chris, and he did a video for my guys for Team Marion and just talking about his experiences with All-Star games, and that kind of gave him an extra little bit of juice that Friday night. So yeah, it's fun. I love it.
Yo, what's good, fellas? I'm Chris Blair. I'm a wide receiver currently for the Green Bay Packers. Uh, I went to Alcorn State University. I had the chance to play for Coach Downing and some of the coaching staff at the 2020 HBCU Spirit of America Ball. I'd just like to wish you guys a congratulations on being selected to play in this HBCU Pigskin Showdown. This is a great opportunity, an opportunity of a lifetime to go out and display your talents in front of a bunch of professional football scouts. Embrace this moment, man, because a lot of people don't have the chance and this opportunity to be able to do this. So embrace it and be grateful for it. I didn't play in this particular ball game, but the ball game that I did play in, it taught me a lot, man. And I can say that it taught me how to adapt to my environment. You're around a bunch of different coaches and around a bunch of different players. Some of the players you might not have ever seen before, and some of you guys might not have ever played together before. But that's okay. Use this time to learn from each other, be able to listen to each other, because you can learn something valuable, whether it's on the field or off the field, man. So use this time to be able to learn from each other. You guys are going to have different coaches this week. They're going to be teaching different techniques, some of the techniques you might not have ever seen before. But be willing to learn it and be able to apply it to your game. It's the reason you guys are chosen to be there, obviously because of your athletic abilities and your hard work that you put in all season. Like I said, man, I just want to wish you guys a congratulations. I need y'all to go out there and kill it this weekend. I'm going to be looking out for you guys for sure. You guys are going to be talking to a lot of scouts. So the only thing I can tell you guys is to be yourselves. Don't try to be nobody else, man. Just be yourselves. If you haven't talked to a scout already, don't get discouraged. Continue to work hard. They're going to find you. And if you have talked to a scout, don't get complacent, man. Continue to work hard each and every day. Your goal each and every day is to go out there and be the best version of you that you could possibly be. Like I said, man, I'm locked in on you guys, man. I'm ready to watch you guys ball for sure. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks for the answer, Coach. I mean, not many people know the nuts and bolts of what goes behind coaching an All-Star game. So I really appreciate the answer. So start with Coach Grove. I'll go to my co-host for their questions, and then we'll just make the rounds.
Coach Downing, similar to the kids that came through, my question, the first question, consistent question would be, coming from two other bowl games in your background, I mean, what was the emotion, or what was it like for a first year event walking into Marion day one for measurements for the guys?
Phenomenal. The other bowl games I've done have been 10 years deep, so they've had opportunities to work out the kinks from a logistics side and things. I think you guys prepared well. Definitely the draw from the scouts. There's 27 when I had counted. I asked a lot of the scouts as well. That's one of the things we try to do better each time, right? My first year head coaching one of these, I didn't even know I could talk to the scouts. My second year, I talked to them before practice, but this year I was like, all right. We happened to be having a staff meeting in the weigh-in room, and as they were filtering in, introduced myself to every one of them, gave them my number, told them, text me so I got theirs if we have any kind of personnel changes or roster changes at the last minute, because those do happen. Things like that. I was like, I can let you know, keep you updated. I was like, if you have trouble finding the kid or running the kid down, I can help you with that too. So, and a lot of their feedback was it definitely compares with some of the longer running bowls, and they said this is the first year. It's phenomenal. So I think you guys did a great job, and I know it's going to continue to get better every year. But for your first time coming out and doing this, I think it was a tremendous event.
Yeah, we appreciate that breakdown, bro. Appreciate it.
100%. Coach, man, we appreciate you doing this for us, man. We appreciate all the stuff you've done for us so far, man, and then just really appreciate the relationship and the ability to communicate and I always enjoy communicating with ball coaches, man, that have a certain demeanor, and then you're our type of guy, and I hope to think that we're your type of guy, and I just enjoy every communication that we have with you, man. So just first want to say that, and then my question to you is, thinking about HBCU football. I mean, we jumped into this for a reason. I mean, our background. I mean, we minor league football in arena, Canadian League. I mean, all our stuff has been about trying to help guys, move forward. So this was about jumping in for the kids for us, man. And obviously we want this to be a success. We want to stay around for 20 years, right? And we want to do something for our home state. But this is about these kids, man. And these kids getting an opportunity that they have not had in probably over 20 years. And I got to ask you, as a guy on the inside of HBCU football, are you starting to see this subject be something that people are starting to wrap their minds around as a let's go make this better for these guys? You starting to see any movement in philosophy there?
Yeah, I am absolutely, and it just seems too late. It should have been the support. You know what I mean? There should have been the support from the beginning.
Mhm.
But I will say that you're seeing it, especially with. I mean, look at the kids at Neon's Landing
Yep.
and things like that, and the fact that the Senior Bowl got involved with the combine. I
Mhm.
mean, it's definitely finally something that they're starting to wrap their head around, and credit to you guys too for the way the format you guys have yours and not charging the kids to play in like some of the other bowls do. I think you get a lot more conference support. I think this game showed that.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So I really believe that you guys have the hearts in the right direction. This game is far and above the best that I've taken place in because it's aligned with my ideologies as well. It's truly altruistic. The reason you're doing it is for the kids. It's for the kids, and that's why I do what I do and coach because I'm here for my kids. So I think that it's finally something that is being addressed as it should have been a long time ago.
Absolutely, coach. That's good to hear, man. And I got to say this too, man. Watching you work and watching you do what you do, man. I saw where the kids like you, man. I mean, that's a big thing when it comes to being a football coach. I mean, I always wanted guys to feel where I was coming from, and I see that in you, man. And these guys,
I
these guys,
appreciate it.
these guys really like being around you. So when it comes to you and keeping in touch with guys and making sure you're watching guys' careers and being there as a guy that wants to help and can help them when they need it. What's your philosophy there?
I try to be a resource for the kids, as far as anything really, on the field, off the field. I had a kid from a prior bowl game that his degree was in finance. My day job is in finance. I got him a job at the company that I work for, you know. So anything really, and how a big way we keep in touch with the kids is we started Group Me. I did that the weekend there. So every time, as soon as I had their phone numbers, everything went in the Group Me. It helped us communicate about any logistics changes that weekend, but also, allows me to keep in touch. Talked to Kingston after his pro day last Saturday. Um, really just being a resource for these guys. And I tell them all the time from day one, I said, whether I had you for a season or a weekend, you're all my guys. So, and I still keep in touch with all of them, So uh, definitely phone stays active to recruit it and guys that I'm trying to help out, and we've got coaches who have ties to arena. I know Coach Williams, that's your background, and some of the common thread of our whole coaching staff, with the exception of I think two, have backgrounds in arena, which I think says a lot for arena as well because we're fast tempo, and you have to understand that, and the fact that we've got coaches that are well versed in arena football that come from that, and then the other guys were well versed in the NFL. So, I mean, that's fast too. So that's faster. So, you know, um, but it always works for them because they're able to kind of stockpile their teams. They kind of look at that as okay, go to the league, but if you don't, hey, we got a team out here that needs somebody, or a team out here that needs somebody. And from the last one I did, we had a kid go to the CIF and win Offensive Player of the Year. Another kid go to CIF and win Defensive Player of the Year. They met in the championship. Defensive players team came out on top, of course. We had two of the guys who ended up getting signed by one of my coach's arena teams in Charlotte, and two of them, and one of them won overall MVP of the league, and the other one won Rookie of the Year of the league. So, we're putting these guys at some levels of football so they can extend their football careers and get film and continue to do that, and hopefully move up from there. So, that's another reason we like doing these is because a lot of the kids, if the NFL doesn't happen. It doesn't have to end for you. And I tell guys all the time, play as long as you can, because one day you can't turn back the clock. Like, that's why we coach now, right? Because we can't get on the field, strap them up, and play anymore. So, I tell them to get as much of it as they can before they said, okay, I'm gonna call it a career. Because if you don't get everything you can out of it, you'll be 25, 29, 30, 32. You'd be like, I wish I would have given it one more. So yeah, we like to put our guys to work wherever it is.
That's right. That's my last question to you, Coach. I'm gonna lead in and say you're kind of like the other guys, man. You're gonna be dealing with us for the next 20 years. You're our first winning head coach, right? So you'll always be in the record books when it comes to this game and the development of that game. But so you kind of stuck with us too, man. So you might as well just get ready to keep on coming back and continue to do what you do and grow with us, bro.
But the town of Marion and Selma have to get ready for me and my guys. My coaching staff all told me they'll be back for another year. So
that's right. 100%. I do have to say this though. Last question though. How important is it, Coach, from you being on the inside of HBCU again and creating these pro opportunities for these kids? How important is it? Because I think it's pretty important for all of us here at our game. I think it's important for the folks over at the HBCU Legacy Bowl. I think it's important for the folks that put together the HBCU Combine. I even think it's important for the schools to get ingratiated in this thing too. How important is it for all of us to really work together and change the landscape of what's happening at this level of football and the pro level?
100%. And I love the fact that that's the motto is we're not competing, right? We're all trying to give them additional platforms, and that's what it's about, really, is that additional platform. Look at Kane. I mean, he did the circuit, we call it. He did as many All-Star games as he could jump on. And I think that's important if everybody works in tandem to really get the platform bigger, and really spotlight. That's why I love this show. I love what you guys are doing. You continue to have things pre-planned and everything like that, and on high gear. I think it's super important. And like I said, it should have been, done a long time ago, where we're all kind of working in concert together. Unity. There's strength in unity. And that's what I think that we need to remember at the end of the day.
That's right. We appreciate you, Coach. That's all I got. You guys got anything else?
Coach Downing, as we are a show that's going a little bit over the scheduled time, I'm scared to ask you this because we could go on all day. But as a defensive line coach, how important is get off?
Oh, it's super important. It's super important. Get off in your first two steps. But you can have great ones if you don't have good hands. You got to see the hands to defeat the hands. You know what I mean? So it's their hands and feet have to come with you at all times. So. Yeah, super important that get off, being able to anticipate the snap, shooting your hands with it, all of it works in concert.
You mentioned a little bit earlier, it's kind of a vanilla playbook for most all-star games. I'm not sure. I'm not too familiar with the HBCU Pigskin Showdown rules, but I assume it's like most other all-star games and that there's no blitzing allowed. Yeah. How did that change in game, your kind of personnel decisions and all of that, knowing that you were the pass rush? So there wasn't any linebacker to come off the edge or anything to help you out.
Yeah, so no fifth man pressures is the actual rule. So if you run out of 4-3, obviously, now if you run out of a 3-4, you can theoretically have it because you still got a 5-on-4 there, so they can pick it up. So, but you just had to be smart. My defensive coordinator has been with me for all three of them. Coach Jermaine Smith, and so he builds it in because we know that's a guaranteed rule. So yeah, we adjust on the fly. I've been in some games where it's not allowed, but coach on the other sideline did it. So you also had to have Devin Latta, my O-line coach, had him prepared in case they tried to sneak one in there. So because the thing about it is, Coach Williams kind of hit on it earlier, but without saying it, is in coaching this. Coach Grove, Coach Williams, guys like that have a really difficult task sometimes, and finding guys who get it. there's a lot of guys who put winning as paramount to actually giving the kids their opportunity, right? And that's always a concern of people who run games like these, like Coach Williams, Coach Grove. I like to consider myself a guy who gets it. It's about the kids and wins. Yeah, everybody wants to win, but I go in and I say, look, my job is to try and get you guys an opportunity and showcase your abilities. Winning comes secondary to me, behind really thirdly, because it's about showcasing your abilities and staying healthy. So I think you got to have guys that understand that, players that understand that. It's got to be kind of reiterated and be one of those kind of key phrases that they hear all weekend is, practicing smart, keep each other healthy. So, but yeah, so it's just kind of a theme of continuing to embrace, to stay healthy and having coaches that understand what the game's really about. So yeah, but my DC he had a playbook that was ready. He was primed and ready with it, and had fun with it. So we were good on that standpoint. And actually, another funny anecdote from the game is Carl, the linebacker we had from Skeggy on the sideline. He said, "Coach, you ain't coached a lick of football all weekend." And I said, Carl, I'm only a head coach for a weekend. I tend to enjoy it. And also part of that is understanding that having a staff that is good at what they do. As a head coach, you have to know, especially when you're a position coach where you're at, when to pull back and let the coaches you selected coach their position. You have to worry about, your focus is more on the transitions in and out of segments, overall flow of practice, all that good stuff. I was blessed to have Coach Burns and Coach Smith who really tag teamed the box, and then Coach Hanna out there with the DBs was a phenomenal guy. So I can't say enough about the coaching staff and having those kids ready. It was really they did the bear share. I just enjoyed it. I enjoyed the holistic view, if you will. So
I'll take my last question out of the Move the Sticks podcast question playbook, so to speak. Who's the best high school football player you've gotten to watch in person?
Ooh, I don't know. I can't even give you an answer right there. I can't even give you an answer right there. There's so many to choose from. I'm partial to any D lineman though. Give me somebody who will push the pocket and get at that passer, who won't jump off sides.
Exactly, right? Anticipate the snap, but don't get 5 yards out of the way.
Yeah.
Coach, you've been so generous with your time. I appreciate you coming on today.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Anytime you guys want me to jump on, I'm more than willing to.
Thanks, Coach.
We appreciate you, man.
Yep.
We'll talk soon.
Yes, sir.